This is a Hatha yoga practice that is supportive throughout your cycle. So you can use this practice in any phase whenever you're feeling that quality of mind or it's hard to turn your brain off. So if you're feeling that you have a very active mind, maybe you've been sort of hanging out from the shoulders up, we want to use this practice, use the breath to help get us back into the body. So bring conscious awareness into the body. This is a great balancing practice. It can sort of neutralize any energetic states. So if you're feeling highly anxious, trending toward overwhelm, this can be a very grounding practice. If you're feeling, on the other hand, a little bit heavy, maybe lethargic, this can sort of excavate some of that energy that's available from the inside out. So we'll follow a very traditional arc of practice, beginning with some gentle sun salutations, nothing too strenuous or activating, but we'll use those salutations to warm the body before moving into a standing series and then a seated series of postures where we are hanging out more for 3 to 5 breaths. So it's a longer hold in each posture. And I want you to use that to really check in with how you relate to stillness. Is it hard for you to kind of remove the doing and drop more into the being quality in each posture? So this is a great practice to complement our strength training, some of the more kind of active practices that we do. It helps kind of balance that quality with more stillness. So you can create that presence, the ease that serves you as self-care. So I love this on an active rest day. It will still be challenging for whole body, but it gives you that nice whole body stretch to kind of soothe any muscle soreness you might be experiencing and just really create energetic ease. For today, it can be very helpful to have a yoga block. It just elevates the surface of the floor a little bit and can help remove those little pain points along the way so that you're not in any strain. You're not having to kind of hold the body in space, but instead you feel supported. So you can create that sensation that we're looking for without any strain. So you'll see me use a block a lot. If you don't have a block, you can use a small stool. You could use a thick book, something that is sturdy enough to support your weight. I'll also be using a bolster for the final resting pose at the end. Just provides a lot of support for the spine. Again, continuing in that theme of feeling supported in your body. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a thick cushion, something pretty firm. You might use a pillow under your knees. You can roll up a yoga mat and then cover it with a soft blanket, anything to provide just that little bit of added comfort. You might also like a rolled up towel or blanket to put under the sits bones during our seated series. Create the environment that promotes ease, that promotes that quality that we're looking for in today's practice. So now let's get started. Let's begin our practice for today. Please join me at the top of your mat. I want you to bring your feet to a comfortable position. Start to spread the toes. Feel the mat beneath your feet. Give a few shoulder rolls here. Just notice how the spine stacks these structures all the way from the ground up to the crown of your head. Please close your eyes for a moment and start to listen for your breath. I want you to think of that breath like a magnet. So as your breath comes into the body, it gently pulls your attention, pulls your awareness, pulls your mind into the body. That is my wish for you in this practice, that we can spend a little less time in our heads and more time in our bodies, in our hearts. So when you're ready, gently blink your eyes open. Maintain that embodied quality as you deepen the breath. Move through some sun salutations here to warm the body from the inside out. As you're ready, inhale, stretch the arms overhead, gaze up. On your exhale, gentle fold over the legs. Keep a generous bend in the knees, relax the head. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. Exhale, step the feet back to plank. Pause for a breath here. Inhale. and exhale. Another inhale breath here. Then as you exhale, touch your knees to the ground, then your chest between the thumbs, and then your chin. Feel this slight back bend. Slide the hips through, lift the chest, cobra pose, hug the elbows back, hips stay grounded. And on your exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, we'll be here just a breath, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, gaze forward, bend your knees, lift your heels. Exhale, step your feet to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway, maybe bring your hands to your thighs or shins. And exhale, fold. Continue deepening the breath. Inhale, reach up, look up, rise to stand. And exhale, hands through the heart. Release your arms by your sides. Again, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Knees stay deeply bent as you exhale, fold. Relax the head at the bottom. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. Exhale, step the feet back to plank. Stay for a full breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Touch the knees down, chest down, chin down. Pause for the exhale. Then as you inhale, cobra pose, soften the hips down, lift through the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay a breath or two more here in downward dog. Pedal out the feet. Start to create that oceanic sound in your breath, that ujjayi breath, victorious. Inhale and exhale. Almost like you're trying to fog a mirror, but your mouth is closed. Create the sound both on the in and out breath. Inhale, gaze forward. Bend your knees, lift your heels. Exhale, step the feet to the hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Keep creating that sound with your breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, look up, stand up. And exhale, hands through the heart. Release your arms by your sides. One more round of sun salutation A. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step back to plank. Stay for one breath. Inhale. And exhale. That breath creates the heat. One more inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra, hips stay grounded. Elbows hug in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press back in your own way. Inhale, gaze forward, lift your heels, bend your knees deeply. Exhale, step your feet to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, shift the weight into the ball mounds of the feet. Inhale, reach up, look up, stand up. And exhale, hands through the heart. Release your arms by your sides. Take a moment here just to check in. Notice any warmth that you feel, where you feel energy now in your body. And we'll move through sun salutation C now to sort of complete the warming process. As you're ready, inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step your right foot back. Let the right knee come down. Inhale, low lunge. Untuck the back toes. Lift up and out of the pelvis. Exhale, hands. Frame your left foot. Tuck the back toes. Step back to downward facing dog. Stay for a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, right leg steps forward between your hands, back knee down. Inhale, low lunge, untuck the back toes, stretch up and out. Find that expansion in the heart. Exhale, hands frame your foot, tuck your back toes. Step your left foot to meet your right, forward bend. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up, stretch up. Exhale, hands to heart. Release your hands. Again, inhale, reach the arms up. Find that simplicity with the breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift your spine. And exhale, step your right foot back this time. Keep the back knee lifted. Find that nice strong lunge. Inhale, rise up. We'll stay here just a breath in this lunge. Inhale. And exhale, hands touch down. Step your left foot back, downward dog. Stay for a full breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, step your left foot through between your hands. High lunge. Slowly rise up, reach the arms overhead. Sink nice and low into that high lunge here. Inhale. Exhale, hands touch down. Step the right foot forward. Forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Send the gaze up toward the hands. Exhale, hands melt down through the heart. Release your arms by your sides. Enjoy a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Now we'll enter our standing series. So we'll be spending more time in each posture. And I want you to continue to use the breath to pull your attention, your conscious awareness into the body. Let's take a big inhale. Reach the arms overhead. Interlace the fingers, release index finger and thumb. Feel a little hug of the upper arm bones into the ears. Press the shoulder blades onto the back. Draw the front ribs down and in. Big breath. And as you exhale, side bend to the right. Imagine lifting up and out of the hips, lengthening the right side equal to the left, evening that pressure in both feet. See if you can stack the shoulders one on top of the other. Inhale, come through center. Exhale to the other side. Find that big, beautiful bend. Again, lengthening the left side waist now, equal to the right. Last breath here. Slowly come up through center, reach up. Then release the hands, fold over your legs. Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. As you exhale, step your left foot back into a lunge. Turn the back heel flat now, preparing for warrior one. Back heel comes down, outer edge about 45 degrees. We're spinning the back foot from that big toe toward the heel. So pinky side to big toe side to rotate the back hip in. Then we'll slowly come up, find warrior one. Stack the shoulders on top of the hips. Feel that deep press of the right shin forward. You can always take the arms out to cactus if that's more comfortable in your shoulders. Then we'll be here several breaths to refine this posture. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Lift the rib cage up and out of the pelvis. And then slowly soften the pelvis down. Anchor that back heel. Keep pressing, dialing that back knee forward with the action in the foot. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Can you embody that quality of the warrior? We'll be here one more very deep breath. Last inhale. Find that expansion in the breath. And as you exhale, hands touch down. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Step that back foot forward. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. If you have a block, you might like to have it here, just a little bit of a lift to the floor surface. Otherwise, hands are on the ground. You can always bend your knees as deeply as necessary. Let's keep the left hand in the center between the feet. And then inhale, open the right arm up. As you do that, bend the left knee deeply. Really work to straighten that right leg. Can you draw the left hip crease back so that your pelvis is level? Feel that length in the left side waist. Revolve the left low ribs underneath you. Soften shoulders away from the ears. Shift the weight forward into the ball mounds of both feet. Maybe send your gaze toward your right fingertip without any strain in the neck. And exhale, slowly come down. Inhale, let's send the left arm high now. Bend deeply into the right knee. Keep that left leg straight and strong. Notice if your right hip is dipping down, can you lift that right hip crease to square the hips and then twist through the upper back? Maybe send your gaze toward your left thumb, again with a softness in the neck. So you might move your head around to release any strain there, shifting the weight forward all the while. We'll slowly come back down. Let both legs straighten. Inhale, halfway lift your spine. This time as you exhale, step your right foot back, turn the back heel flat. Back toes at 45 degrees. Heels are mostly in a straight line. They might be a little wider apart if you need a little more space. Bend deeply into that left knee, rise, warrior one. So we press from the big toe side to the inner heel to dial that right hip forward. Keep the left shin sinking a little bit lower and pressing forward towards the front of your mat. Draw the front ribs in and down. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Create this iterative process of refinement where you just continue kind of making these little adjustments to find your expression of warrior one. Deepening the breath here. So we're in this process now of longer holds. So I want you to really use the breath to drop into your body. Where do you feel the work? Where can you create those little adjustments? As you're ready, exhale, hands come down to frame your foot, come onto the ball of the back foot. Step the right foot to meet the left. Forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift your spine. This time as you exhale, step your left foot back. We'll take a shortened stance here, so you can slide that left foot in so that you have less space between the feet. This time, all 10 toes are facing forward for pyramid pose. Again, here it might be nice to have a block beneath the hands if you wish. You can have it to the inner edge of your front foot. I want you to work to square the hips, wrap the inner thighs back in space. So you're creating this internal rotation. I like to lift the toes off the mat, anchor the ball mound and the pinky toe side of the foot into the ground beneath you. As you inhale, halfway lift your spine. I really want you to lengthen from the sitting bones to the crown. Keep that length now as you fold in pyramid pose. Again, activate the legs by energetically wrapping the inner thighs in and back, but without letting the feet move. All 10 toes stay facing forward. Can you release the head and neck a little bit further down? Activate that front quadricep by engaging the musculature there to signal the release of your hamstring. Maybe allows you to fold a little bit deeper. Be present with yourself in these postures, especially in the stillness. Notice what your mind tries to do when there is stillness. Is it seeking distraction? Is it overactive, wanting to trail off? Can you keep it in this moment, in this pose? And then as you're ready, inhale, lift halfway. You can set your block off to the side if you wish. Then we'll step the left foot to meet the right, come into your forward bend. Just notice the difference between sides, how the backs of your legs feel. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step your right foot back. Let the back heel come down. Close that stance just a little bit so you shorten the distance between the feet. And then once again, we'll start to refine so you can inhale, halfway lift. Stay in this lifted position to create that shape in the legs. So inner and outer edges of the feet are rooting down. We're wrapping the inner thighs back in space to broaden the sacrum, the tailbone, stretching back in that nice elongated position. Back of the neck is neutral. Let's take a big inhale here. Keep that length in the spine. Exhale, fold over your front leg. Again, wrap the inner thighs back in space without letting the knees knock in. Lift the left hip crease up and back so that the pelvis is nice and level. Can you coil through the belly, create more space to fold inward? And then we'll be here about 3 to 5 more breaths. And again, I want you to Sit with any discomfort that arises, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. Maybe it becomes quite frustrating to hold these postures for a longer period of time, especially if we're used to a quicker flow. We're used to the doing. Can we drop more into the being through this movement medicine, through these shapes, to really appreciate and acknowledge what they have to offer? Last big breath here. And exhale. As you're ready, gaze forward, lengthen the spine, step your right foot to meet your left. You can set your block off to the side, heel toe the feet so that they're just slightly wider than hips width. Turn the toes slightly out, heels slightly in. Keep that spine nice and long. Then start to bend the knees, sink the hips down, but without losing the activation. So I want you to find some buoyancy in the pelvis by hugging the heels to the midline. Find your deepest squat malasana pose. If your heels don't touch down, don't sweat it. You can always place a blanket or a towel under the heels if you need that extra support. The goal here is to find that upright position in the spine. You can press your palms firmly into the center and then give a gentle squeeze of your inner knees to the elbows. Be with your breath here. You can stay in this malasana squat. If you want to add a little bit more, extend your left arm out to the side, palm presses down into the earth. Keep pressing that left arm into your left knee. Gently rotate the right arm open, any amount. It can be a little or a lot. Really use that left arm to leverage more twist in the upper back. If you want even just a little bit more, you might turn your right thumb down, wrap that arm around behind you, and then clasp right fingers around left wrist. If you find that your upper back is rounding in, you can let that clasp go. It's not the priority here. We really want to keep the chest elevated. Feel that bind if you have it, creating that pressure and compression to sort of stimulate blood flow now to the left hip. As you're ready, gently release. You can take the same on the other side. So if you wish, right hand stretches out, press the right arm into right knee, spin the left arm open. Then again, you have the option of observing as you feel from left to right. And then slowly release the hands to center. Let's parallel the feet, walk them slightly in. So you're now shoulder width apart once again and fold over the legs. Have your block handy if you wish to use it. We'll come into another series of standing postures. Inhale, halfway lift your spine. Exhale, step your left foot back. Again, we've got that slightly shortened stance. I want you to turn the back heel out now as if you were preparing for Warrior Two. We won't quite enter Warrior Two today, but we have the beginnings of that posture here. We'll slowly rise up, come into this standing position, now this open hip position. So the back foot is parallel to the short side of the mat. Front heel bisects that back foot, so the center of the arch. I want you to take your hands to your hips, level the pelvis. You feel those two hip points even in space. You can take your block, place it to the inside of your right foot. Inhale, reach the arms out to T. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. On your exhale, reach the right fingertips over the right toes. Bring your right hand to the block or to the floor. Left hand to your left hip. I want you to gaze down at your right foot, right hand. Can you keep the big toe side of that right foot anchored, micro bend in the right knee, but then wrap your right sitting bone underneath your body to stack the hips. Find some pressure, some downward force in that back foot, spreading the left toes. And then begin to stack the shoulders a little bit more. You might have to come higher onto your block. I want this to be not a pose that is strenuous, where you're feeling any pulling in the right leg, but you find expansion. So I love using the block at the highest elevation for triangle pose. Use your left hand to lengthen the side waist. Create as much distance as you can between your right hip crease and your right armpit. You can even take the block to the outside if that helps you stack the hips a little bit more. And then gaze down at your right big toe, and then start to follow a line from your big toe up, out, and around. So you now send your gaze toward the ceiling, but you have this freedom in the neck. If you wish, you can take that left arm towards the sky. So you're reaching right hand down, left arm high, lengthening the energy of the legs in all directions. So radiating outward from the center. We'll be here several more breaths. Can you find the stillness? Can you find ease within the effort? Use these few moments to connect, to tune in to your body. And again, be gentle with yourself if you feel some resistance. If you feel any of that frustration that starts to creep up where you really want to move, can you be okay with the stillness? Last big breath here. And slowly bring your left hand to your left hip, bend into the right knee. We'll come up into star pose. So we turn the toes in for a moment, heels slightly out, and then we'll reverse that. So we'll bring the heels in, toes out, come into your goddess squat, nice and low. Let the knees press open so that as you gaze down the inseam of your leg, you can see your big toes. Give a little rock side to side, and then open the arms out to T. For this first side, we'll take right arm under left for eagle arms. Hug the upper arm bones, elbows, forearms, wrists, and palms to the midline. You might move the shoulders side to side, really feel this kind of mobilizing of the shoulder blades. Sink a little deeper into the hips, but again, create that buoyancy by hugging the heels energetically to the midline. Feel the activation in the legs, that aliveness in the body here. We'll be here one more very deep breath. And then as you're ready, slowly come up, reach the arms out to T. I want you to turn your right toes in. So now the right foot parallels the short edge of your mat. Left toes turn all the way out. So now we have the open position here, hands to the hips. Let's level the pelvis first. Telescope the ribs out of the hips. So you have this nice elongated spine. Arms return to T. Let's inhale. Stretch your left fingertips over your left toes. It's okay here if the pelvis tilts to the side. As you exhale, left hand finds your block or the floor. You can even use your shin if you don't have a block at home. Let's keep the right hand to the right hip for now. And we'll begin to refine this posture. So gaze down at your left foot. I want you to wrap the left sitting bone underneath you so you feel that stacking of the hip points, one on top of the other. Can you use your right hand to elongate the side waist and then stretch your left hip crease back as much distance as you can between that point and your armpit. So you're really trying to radiate energetically in all directions while staying integrated so you still have that magnetizing to the center, that pulling of your awareness to the center of your body. Once we're here, let's free the neck. So make sure that you have no strain there. And then slowly start to send your gaze up and forward and then all the way around. Feel how much better that can be when we kind of create that intentional path towards gazing up. And then as you're ready, release your right hand toward the ceiling if you wish. Keep all of that activation and refinement in the lower body. But now with a single point of focus up toward your right thumb. Stack the shoulders, stack the hips. Last big breath. Let it out. And we'll take that right hand to the right hip. Once again, gaze down at your left foot. Bend into the left knee, and we'll travel through the center of the mat once again. You can change your block to the other side if you wish. So come up to standing, just feel that change from one side to the other. Let's bring the heels in, toes out, goddess squat once again. Let The knees have that nice press open so you feel length across the inner thighs. Open the arms to T, stretch the chest, and then wrap left arm under right for eagle arms. Again, hug the heels energetically together so you feel that energetic lift at the base of the pelvis. Broaden across the shoulder blades, soften the shoulders away from the ears. You might even close your eyes here for a breath or two so that you can really connect to the sensations of your body. Listen for the sound of your breath if you've lost it. Notice the tone in the belly. Can you draw it back and in? Then we'll slowly release. You can take your arms by your sides. I want us to turn now towards the front of the mat. So you can adjust your feet now so that all 10 toes are facing forward. You can have the inner edges of the feet aligned, so this nice square position in the hips. You'll likely want to use your block for this next posture. We're taking that triangle pose and revolving it now. So Pavrita Trikonasana. Let's lengthen up and out through the spine. Keep your hands on your hip creases first, micro bend in that front knee. And then as you exhale, fold over the legs. So it's like you're setting up for pyramid pose. I want you to take that block either to the inside or the outside of your right foot. Place the left hand firmly on that block. So really create that point of contact, that stability. Soften the shoulders down the back as you lengthen the crown away. Then touch your right hand to your heart. Begin to move your heart toward and into your hand while keeping the hips absolutely square. I want you to adjust your block or your hand position as needed so that you have the wrist directly under the shoulder. And then keep rotating, keep spinning the heart towards the sky, toward that right side. Hug the inner thighs to the midline. Wrap the inner thighs back in space. Level the hips, level the pelvis. And then again, you might gaze down and then slowly circle up and around. So you're gazing toward the ceiling. Maybe you release your right hand to the sky. Can you simultaneously press that right shoulder open and draw your left hip crease back? Right hip crease back. So we've got a long spine here. We are at once strengthening and stretching the spine. Can you keep all four corners of both feet anchored? Energetically press down so that you have that foundation, that strength to build from. Feel this beautiful rotational quality in the spine. Last big breath. And let it go. As you're ready, return your right hand down. Add a gentle bend into that right knee. We'll slowly walk towards the long edge of your mat. Turn your toes in, heels out. On your inhale, halfway lift the spine. I want you to bring your hands to your hip creases. And as you press your hip creases back, lengthen the crown of the head forward. Keep the weight shifting into the ball mounds of your feet. And then fold the body down. So reach the crown of your head towards the floor. You can even dig your thumbs into your hip creases now. Lift the hip creases straight up. So you're creating this traction in the spine with the help from gravity, letting the head be heavy. You might anchor the outer edges of your feet to feel that stretch along the outer seam of the leg. Keep the legs strong, really activate the hamstrings and quadriceps. Try not to shift the weight too far back, so you want that forward motion, like you're shifting into the ball mounds of the feet. Can you lengthen the neck even more by gently pulling the chin toward the chest? So you're really aiming the crown toward the floor. Last big breath here. And slowly release the hands. Halfway lift your spine. We're going to take our block with us as we travel now over the left leg. So turn all 10 toes toward the opposite side of your mat. And once again, we're going to set this up. So we'll bring hands to the hips, level the pelvis. Inner edges of the feet aligned, all 10 toes facing forward. Let's stretch the heart forward. And then as you exhale, bring your right hand to that block or to the floor. I want you to strengthen the legs here. Keep the spine long. Bring your left hand to your heart. And then without moving the hips, so fix that structure, that position of the hips in space. Move your heart into your left hand, twist to the left. You can adjust that block as needed or the hand position as needed. I want you to wrap your right low ribs underneath you. Feel that strength in the obliques. That's facilitating the twist. And then again, free the neck by gazing down first, then up, around, and over your left shoulder. Maybe you send the left arm skyward. And then we refine the position. So square the hips once again. You might lose some of that opening in the shoulder. Fix the position of the hips and then re-extend, reopen that left arm. Coil the belly in. Micro bend in the knees to activate the musculature of the legs. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Bring your awareness inward. Maybe send the gaze toward your left thumb so you complete the full rotation of the spine. Get comfortable with the discomfort here. Can you soften the face? Last big breath. And then slowly release that left hand down. Bend into the left knee. We'll walk now to turn over the long edge of your mat. You can set your block off to the side. Here we're going to come once again into Prasarita Padottanasana, this wide-legged forward bend. This time I want you to bring your hands so that they're behind the shoulders, more in line with the feet. Lengthen the spine, inhale. And then exhale, fold. I want you to press down into the mat and energetically move your hands forward like you're trying to slide them on the mat, but they won't move. So you're trying to aim the crown of your head towards the floor. I want you to really strengthen the arms, hug the elbows into the midline. Almost like you feel you're pressing so hard into the hands like you could lift the toes off the mat. Maybe they lift up. You might start to move into headstand, or maybe just the kind of intention toward that posture. Really pressing down into the hands, feeling that lift in the lower body. So as we anchor the hands, the lower body becomes light. If you've lifted the legs, gently let them lower back down without urgency. If your feet are still grounded, we'll join you by inhaling to halfway lift. And exhaling, fold. Enjoy just a breath or two more here. If you were in headstand, I want you to come halfway up. Just sort of let that energetic current kind of come back to a baseline here. And then we'll slowly heel toe the feet together so that your big toes touch. Bend the knees, lift the heels, ball pose, curl the chin to chest. We'll transition now to a seated position. Once again, we'll come into that upright spine. So if you need to, you can put a blanket or a cushion under your sitting bones. If it's hard for you to sit up straight with the legs outstretched, I want you to really find that kind of slightly posterior tilt in the pelvis so that the spine is nice and upright. We'll bring the left foot to the inner right thigh. I want you to square the hips here. And then square your shoulders over that right leg. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, fold over that right leg. This can be any amount, a little or a lot. I want you to energetically press your left foot into your right thigh, hug your right thigh into your foot. And then keep stretching the heart forward and away. Try to really press the back of your right knee into the mat. That'll engage the quadricep and help signal to the hamstring that it's okay to relax. A lot of us experience tightness in the hamstrings, so the initial response from the body might be to tense up. But with the breath, With that attention and awareness, we are sending the signal of safety that it is okay to relax. You can let the head hang heavy if you wish, kind of turning your attention inward. Just being with whatever arises for you. Trying not to tag any emotional current as positive or negative. Just allowing it to occupy space in your body. And then with your breath and your movement, metabolizing those thoughts and emotions. Letting go what doesn't serve you, holding on to what does. Last big breath here in head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. Let's slowly walk the hands up. Then we'll bring the soles of the feet to touch for Baddha Konasana. You can wrap your peace fingers around your big toes, kind of opening the feet like a book, or maybe wrap the hands around the pinky toe side. I like to reach for my ankles so that I can get some traction in the spine. Soften the shoulders down the back. Inhale, lift. As you exhale, fold forward. Keep that lengthened spine as long as you can. Press the pinky toe side of the feet together. And then you might gently turn and round in. This is a nice place to have a block if you want to rest your forehead. And again, using the highest elevation that you need so we don't feel any strain in the upper back or neck. Just be in this hip opening for several breaths. Just relaxing into that sensation. We are coming into the closing postures of our practice here. Slightly longer form so that we can really create more space for stillness in each pose. As you're ready, slowly come up. This time, extend your left leg long, right foot to the inner left thigh. Reach the arms up and exhale, fold over that left leg. Again, here we're drawing the left hip crease back, stretching the heart forward. Relax the back of the neck. Keep the sitting bones anchored here, almost like you're dialing the right hip crease open. Feel that length in the lower spine. This is a great posture for lower back pain. Helps kind of balance the muscular length, the resting length on each side so that we alleviate some of the postural imbalance and hopefully soothe any pain that is present. We'll be here 3 more very deep breaths. Again, just being with whatever arises in heart and mind. And then as you're ready, slowly coming up. We'll come into a seated forward bend next. So again, I want you to tilt the pelvis slightly forward. You can be generous with the bend in your knees if you wish. Let's reach the arms overhead. And then as you exhale, fold over the legs. Again, it might be nice to have a block between the calves or the knees if you wish to rest your head so that you can kind of remove any of the struggle and just be in the sensation. So you're not having to hold your head up, really finding a way to rest even in these highly sensitizing stretches. So you should feel this a lot in your hamstrings. Be here a breath or 2 more. Stretching the back of the body here. which represents the west. So it's sort of like the setting sun. This is a deeply relaxing, deeply grounding posture. It has that quality of inward flow. As you're ready, slowly come out and set your block off to the side. Cross your right foot to the outside of left knee. You have the option of keeping the left leg long, or you can bend it underneath you if that feels good in your knees, so long as you can keep both sitting bones on the mat. Inhale, stretch your left arm high. Then as you exhale, keeping the hips mostly fixed, they might move a little bit. I want you to twist to the right, take your elbow to the outer right thigh. Press your palms into each other, especially the right hand into the left. Soften the shoulders. You might gaze over your right shoulder here. Again, only if it feels accessible and available to you. You might start to wrap your left hand through that window of your legs. You can take the right thumb down, reach for the left wrist, finding a bind here. But again, not sacrificing that quality of ease just to get the outer shape. We are moving past the need to fit our bodies into a particular shape. But instead, we want these shapes, this practice, these workouts and movement to fit us. So it's that body wisdom, that cyclical intelligence that we bring to the practice so that it elevates our energetic body and serves us as the highest self-care. Let's gently release the twist as you're ready. Come back through center, just a little shimmy and shake. And then nice and easy, we'll just switch the cross of the legs. So again, you can have the right leg long here if you wish, or wrap it underneath you. Make sure both sitting bones are grounded. Let's stretch the right arm nice and high. And as you exhale, twist. Again, keeping the chest upright. You can bring your palms to touch. Press your left palm firmly into the right and then resist with the right. That'll help leverage your deeper twist. You can attempt the bind on this side if you did on the first. I can tell already in my right shoulder that I don't have it for today. So I'm just going to stay in this point along the path, the hands touching. But if you wish, please feel free to move into the bind. Maybe gazing over left shoulder here. Breathing into that twist, that positive pressure that happens in the abdomen. And then we'll slowly release that twist. Again, give a shimmy and a shake to recalibrate and come back to your baseline. Then we'll just open the legs out wide. So take one leg to each side. Again, handy to have a block or a cushion here if you have one. Let's tilt the hips forward so that you're on the front of the sitting bones. Hug the toes toward the shins. Lift up through the spine and then any amount fold forward. You might come to the forearms or all the way to the belly. I'm going to rest my head on a block. If you have one, you can do the same. Again, I want you to press the backs of the knees into the mat, engage the quadriceps, feel that stretch in the inner thighs, the hamstrings, all the while tipping the body slightly forward, but without letting the knees knock in. We'll be here 3 more very deep breaths. Last one, deepest breath yet. And then slowly begin to walk the hands up. You can set your block off to the side. We'll close the legs now so that you're facing the short edge of your mat. We're coming down for Shavasana, our final resting posture. So I have a bolster here that I'm going to use to create a little more comfort. If you have a rolled up blanket or a rolled up yoga mat, you can put a soft blanket over top, something to support your spine. If you don't have that, you can always use a pillow under your knees, anything to provide you just that added bit of comfort so that you can really drop into relaxation. So, wherever you are, just slowly start to lower onto the back. You might knock your knees in or let the knees drop out. You might have the legs outstretched. And wherever you are, I want you to start to close your eyes. Notice the pace and pattern of your thoughts, resisting the temptation to be carried away by any single one. Just let them roll past, wash over you like waves. You can release control of your breath, just let it return to normal here. Let your body be heavy, really sinking into any points of contact with the mat underneath you. We'll be here a minute or two more. If you can, I encourage you to stay longer. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Bringing conscious awareness back into the space. And gently wiggle fingers and toes. Circle the wrists and the ankles. And only when you're ready, start to roll to one side. Or if you're on a support along the spine, you might just very gently begin to make your way to a comfortable seat. Once you're there, bring a hand to heart, bring one hand to belly. You might send your gaze slightly inward here. I want you to just notice how you feel, almost like you've been on a journey through this arc of practice, all the way to this sweet ending. Notice any shift in your thoughts or the quality of your energetic body. Maybe there's more of a lift, more of a heat. When you're ready, let your eyes blink open. You can rest your hands on your knees. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for showing up to your practice today. Thank you for moving and breathing with me. I hope that this has helped to kind of clear any residue in the sort of mind and body so that you walk away from your mat feeling more clear, feeling more awake, more alive. This is part of the practice of yoga, is to kind of uncover what's already there. So I hope that has been the experience for you. Thank you for being here and for letting your body be moved.